What's going on, guys? My name is Damien. Welcome back. Bringing you my review for Arrow Season 3, Episode 9. And what an episode it was. If you haven't seen it yet, as always, feel free to click off the video now. A lot of spoilers ahead. If you want to hear my thoughts and opinions, you can feel free to come back later and hear what I have to say. But it was a really, really amazing episode. It was more along the lines of probably one of the darker episodes, I think, in the entire show's existence. I don't know. There's been a couple other episodes that I can think of that are pretty dark, but this one's up there as far as just a bleaker future with little hope. So Oliver really didn't seem too sure of himself, honestly. I mean, he was putting on a a really good face for, I think, Diggle and Roy and so on, even Felicity, but I think deep down he knew that the likelihood of him coming back was very, very low. So he didn't have very good odds, did he? So episode was great. Again, there's a lot of things here that are really small that are going to have bigger impact down the line. For example, Laurel talking to her mother, really vowing revenge and getting back, to getting back at whoever killed Sarah. Little things like that, because a lot of people have been saying that Laurel really hasn't been doing much, and that is very, very true. But in episode, I think 11, 12, and 13, those three, 10 is obviously going to be continuing from where this one left off, but 11, 12, and 13 are going to be dedicated specifically to Laurel. At least two of three of those, I believe, are going to be focused solely on her. So she's going to be on her path to become Black Canary, and it's going to be interesting to see how they do it, how they handle the transition, because I've always really seen her more as just a classic girl type of character on the show, whilst, Sarah's kind of been like the real fighter and so on. So I look forward to seeing more scenes down the line, progressing her character a bit. But this was a nice stepping stone just to get things started. Obviously, she's already been doing the training and everything like that. Ultimately, Oliver will give in, he will cave, and he will train her. So that's great. The Probably the biggest thing for me personally, and this is only because I'm such a big fan of Ray Palmer's character, but Adam and Felicity had their scenes, but really just Adam asking Felicity to help him. He is going to be in costume in this Adam suit before the end of the season. This was already confirmed, so I look forward to seeing that as well. There are some, I don't know, there's a lot of potential combinations here for some team ups that could happen down the line, and I definitely look forward to seeing it. I mean, if they did something massive, and this is a stretch, but if they did something like this, it would be ridiculous. But have the Flash, Firestorm, Atom, and Green Arrow team up, and I always call him Green Arrow. I can't really get behind the whole Arrow just yet, but same way I can't get behind Starling City. So, but I understand why those why those names are being used. So if you could have a massive team up like that, that would be top notch. It would be great. So seeing him in the Atom suit, I'm looking forward to it. That was a highlight for me personally. It was really great. I think Brandon Roth does a good job playing Ray Palmer. His scenes with Felicity are always enjoyable. I love posting those scenes on my other channel. Always great to watch. Their chemistry is, maybe it's because they're so much alike as far as their techie geeky kind of ways, but they just kind of click and come together sometimes, and or all the time rather, and it's interesting just to see their dialogue options. So I enjoyed, those aspects of the episode. One thing that really actually annoyed me is Malcolm Merlin, and I was hoping there would be some other, like, I'm hoping that they actually show some kind of, I'm not really, his motivation to put Thea in harm's way. It's because he had to be very confident in Oliver's ability to actually kill Ra's al Ghul, because nothing has changed right now for him. And John Barrowman, I believe is his name. I actually really like him as Malcolm. But yeah, I'm really interested to see where they're going to take his character as well, because when Thea finds out, she's obviously not going to be happy. And I guess I expected something a little bit more strategic from Malcolm Merlin, and this was a little bit different as far as he's concerned. But again, great character, and he's definitely one of those that needs a little bit more screen time. Not necessarily backstory, but just involve him in the plot, and that would be really good. It's also been kind of lacking when it comes to Laurel's dad. Like he really just hasn't had enough scenes. I know he is, kind of been promoted and he's got things that he's doing, and he had a few scenes, well, like one main scene rather, one or two that were just there. But I miss kind of seeing him in action. I guess what I'm kind of getting at is I remember back in season one when he was chasing after Oliver, wanting to catch the arrow. I guess that was what I kind of got accustomed to, seeing him all the time just in action and stuff. I'm actually a fan of Paul Blackthorne. He's really good. So yeah, but of course, the highlight of the episode, I think the thing that everyone is going to be talking about for weeks, because the show is not going to be coming back until January 21st, I believe. So we have an entire month with no Arrow and Flash. So I feel like a lot of people are going to be thinking about what happened to Oliver at the end of this episode and where he goes from here. I feel that even though, and I mentioned this, I did a video right before, doing this review, talking about the fight between Oliver Queen and Ra's al Ghul, and I felt initially him going into that fight, he had no chance. If you want to hear my thoughts on that, I will put a link in the description. You can feel free to check it out. But he really had no chance going into this fight. And it's going to be interesting to see how they move forward with this, because how you sell the idea that he survived this fall when he has two. I mean, he's been damaged pretty badly. He's got a sword driven. He had a sword driven right through his chest. One on his looked like around his abs, like maybe like somewhere like lower, like almost to the side, because it didn't look like it went all the way in. It was the point of view of the camera shot is kind of just, it's kind of hard to actually really get a specific spot to see really just how deep the blade went. But he is he's pretty he's pretty hurt there, and he's gonna be bleeding out. I imagine someone's gonna find him, of course, but he falls off that cliff. How do you sell that he survived that fall, and how long has he been laying there before whoever finds him? So a lot of questions that need to be answered, of course, but it was a great episode. Again, I know a lot of people probably were not happy with that fight, but the fight I thought was done the way it should have been. If they had Oliver Queen win that fight, it really would make no sense, because Ra's al Ghul is hundreds of years old and has experience that, you know, dates back to who knows when. So, and like he said in that little monologue that he had there, he has killed so many people, thousands of men. He is immortal. The guy's literally, he's one of the coolest DC villains. If you don't know much about him, I definitely recommend, going on Wikipedia, reading some short samples. It's good stuff. So, yeah, as far as a review is concerned, as a grade, I'd give it 9.3 out of 10. Top-notch episode. Ray Palmer stuff was great. I can't wait to see Laurel become Black Canary. Oliver Queen moving forward. He's going to be defeated, I think, for a little while. That was a pretty lopsided beating that he took there. He had literally zero chance to win that fight. So let me know what you guys think. Links in the description for anything you might need. Follow me on Twitter. Check them out, the two videos at the end. If you're watching my channel, or you found my channel, sorry, for the first time, be sure to subscribe. I post weekly reviews for Arrow, Flash, and the Vampire Diaries. I probably will add Gotham at some point. I really wanted to wait to see if this show was actually worth watching, and I've enjoyed it so far, so I think I'm going to add it when it comes back. So I'll see you guys later. My name is Damien. Thanks for watching, and Arrow is the best, and so is the Flash. I'll see you guys later.